Okay, guys, so I'm going to explain MRP in the simplest of ways, right? We're going to explain MRP in the simplest of ways again. So, material requirement planning, right? This is all software driven. And before we had ERP, we had MRP. So, MRP, again, I'm just going over, nothing complicated. MRP works with three buckets or three variables. One, the bill of materials. The other one, the master production schedule, and the other will be the inventory status file or the inventory record. So let's look at the airline industry. In the airline industry, when you're manufacturing planes, you will have a bill of materials. Isn't that so, Christine? You all agree with that? You all agree with that? Anything you manufacture, you will have a bill of materials. So you will know how many rivets you need, how many washers you need for each plane, right? Good. You will also have something called a master production schedule. Now, what is that, right? Well, maybe I should leave that one for last. You will also have a inventory status file. So when you're manufacturing airplanes or anything, you will have inventories on hand. Which means that moment you agree with that, you will have inventories on hand. You will have inventories, and guess what? Inventories will be received, inventories will be issued, not so? Imagine we manufacturing bicycles, all right? Those companies like whether it be Bike Friday or Dahon, all those bike companies, when they manufacture, you will have items coming in, right? Right? Or Brompton, how would I forget? You will have bicycle parts coming in, and you have bicycle parts being issued. You with me on that, guys? So let's say I'm assembling 5 bicycles today. I will come into the warehouse and I will request some parts, and those parts will be issued to me. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? In a warehouse, that's what happens. Parts will come in, or materials will come in, and someone, the user, someone will come and issue those parts will be issued to them by the warehouse personnel. Making sense? Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Does it make sense? How is that going? That happens in many warehouses. That's a normal thing. So then you have transactions. You have goods coming in, you have goods going out. So in all manufacturing setups, you will have an inventory status file. So what does that have to do with all of this? Well, here's what. If you're manufacturing planes or bicycles, you will have to know what you will at any point in time, or at any given time, you need to know. The software will know what items are coming in, what items are available, when and where. Does that make sense? The software will know at any given time what rivets are available, what spares are available, what spares are due to come in next week, what spares are available on hand to assemble the 5 bicycles or the 5 engines or what have you today or tomorrow or whenever. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Is that going all right? So your inventory file is important. Are we okay with that part? Are we okay with that part? Testing 1, 2, 3, testing 1, 2, 3. Are we okay with that part? Are we okay? Nice. Normal thing. Nothing complicated. Nothing too complicated. And then, so this is all software driven. And then we have the master production schedule. If you look at the master production schedule, you see what you see happening there. You see confirmed orders, you see demand forecasting. Let's look at confirmed orders. Now, in many organizations, let's go back to the airline industry, for example. In the airline industry, particularly, they don't manufacture planes unless they have a confirmed order. You with me on that? 1, 2, 1, 2. They don't build planes unless they have confirmed orders. And right, so that's one situation. And you also have demand forecasting. In the airline industry, as well as in automobile manufacturing, they rely heavily on demand forecasting, right? So Toyota don't manufacture cars because they feel like doing it. They don't manufacture 1 million cars or 10,000 Toyota Corollas because they feel like. They are manufacturing based on what? Based on data, based on historical data, based on demand forecasting. Does that make sense? Based on historical data, based on demand forecasting. These days, it's based on data analytics, getting feedback from the market. Right now, the market wants what type of car? Right now, the market wants cars that are fuel efficient. The market wants cars that do less harm to the environment. Everyone is concerned about their carbon footprint. Isn't that true? Isn't that true? Isn't that true? Testing 1 to 3, it is. So, in other words, MRP takes all this into consideration and it explodes, it runs a report and tells the tells the manufacturer how much they should be producing or how many units they can produce. You with me? Not how many units can we produce? How many units should we be producing? Testing 1 to 3, testing 1 to 3. We can produce X amount of units, or we should be producing X amount of units because we have the materials to do so, right? Because we have the materials for the bill of materials to do so. Because the market wants that type of car, because we have confirmed orders for that type of car or for that type of aeroplane. You with me on that? Testing 1 to 3, testing 1 to 3. So that is MRP in a nutshell. Material requirement planning. That is the software. MRP is software driven. And that is what the software is doing. The software is pulling all that information. Testing 1 to 3, testing 1 to 3. You with me on that? All right.